We are reading the Exiting the Matrix Empowered Living Mastery course. And, there are 12 chapters, and we are on chapter 2, discussing the personal core dimension, which includes your personality, how it was developed, personal core exploration, influence and perception, and to impress upon you the importance of recognizing how extremely unique and important you are. So I'm going to start reading. It's this chapter, or this part of the chapter, is called Breaking Free Personally. And since no one's on here yet, I'm going to see if I can pull it up, because, I can. So, because I want to see comments as they come in. Okay, cool. I'm set up. So, as mentioned, this is going on Monday through Thursday at 7 p.m. to go through the entire course, which includes the personality workbook too. So it is a lot of information, and it's basic information for developing yourself and reaching self-actualization. So, Breaking Free Personally, it's literally only one page that I'm going to be reading, and then I'm going to be talking about it, and hopefully you will have something to share. As mentioned, there are roughly 8 billion people on the planet, and every single one of us is unique. We have similarities and differences, but the fact is that you are special because you are the only you. There has never been, and there never will be, another you throughout history, space, or time. Breaking free personally is realizing how important it is to appreciate who you are without comparing yourself to anyone else, and not caring what other people think about you at all. It is also very important to recognize how the media portrays different groups of people negatively. These cycles keep repeating generation upon generation, including people and groups that teach hate. It is important to break down these stigmas in society, starting with each one of us realizing how diverse people are, and especially not judging them because based on their skin color, which is a beautifully diverse aspect of the human race. Self-love is critical because it is the key ingredient to personal transformation. Learning to truly love and accept who you are is critical in overcoming labels that do not serve your higher purpose. When you feel like you don't fit in, are told you're ugly, or are made to feel guilt and shame, etc., you may start believing and saying very negative things to yourself. Self-forgiveness and self-compassion are key to truly loving oneself and others, even those who have seriously wronged you. Self-care, do this, and I did this. Go to the mirror and ask yourself out on a date. You must agree no matter what, no matter how long it takes for you to say yes. Keep going back to the mirror until you say yes. Decide where and what you will do to build up yourself. Pay attention to your reactions and thoughts when you do them, and write them down. This will help later. Be determined to have a positive reaction doing this exercise, as it will affect how you talk to and take care of yourself. Follow through on taking the best care of you. So I did this once, and basically I was like asking myself on a date, and then I said yes. And so I didn't really plan out the date, but one day I was just at a restaurant, a nice restaurant. I wanted to eat a nice dinner, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh, this is my date. So it kind of just changed the perspective inside of myself. And, you know, if I can't say yes to myself, then how can I even expect anyone to like ask me out on a date? So it's a fun exercise. Journal. Identify positive and negative aspects of yourself. Write a positive for every negative that you write. Sometimes we think something is negative, but somebody else might not think it's negative. It is common to become critical of ourselves when we are not in alignment. So this journal entry is about identifying how you feel about yourself. This is critical in personal development and very important in helping you identify areas you want to work on. Be mindful of whether you are comparing yourself to others or are being true to yourself. It's good to have people to look up to, but don't get lost in wanting to please everyone else around you. Be true to yourself. I am reading from the Exiting the Matrix Empowered Living Mastery course. This is actually an older version, so it had a different name. But, hello. So, how, you know, this is about breaking free. How do you break free from labels? Okay, so you get diagnosed. People tell you you're this or you're that, right? You go to school and there's all these different cliques and you're only allowed to be in one whatever. You got the rebel who's like in all of them. He commingles with everybody. And that's where I'm saying is very good to get to that point where it's like you can interact with anybody. You don't have to be labeled in somewhere to be accepted. You're accepted where you accept yourself. So as for diagnoses, that is a whole thing. So when you go to the doctor, you go to the therapist, they have to write down what your diagnosis is. So they have to come up with something so that they get paid by the insurance company. So you're going to walk away with a diagnosis. Most people, basically, most people take that diagnosis and they say, oh, that's me for the rest of my life, forever. And while not even providing accurate information for you to heal your traumas and find yourself. So now you're stuck with this label. Okay, I'm saying question everything. You know yourself better than anybody else. And so when you're true to yourself, then you're able to break free from those stigmas. So, you know, one thing that people do throughout life is they compare themselves, right? Oh, well, they're this and they're that, and I want to be like that, or, you know, we're just constantly like wanting to like fit in, right, and be accepted. And the problem with that is that if you're not accepting yourself, how do you expect other people to accept you, right? Like one day I just realized, I was like, you know what? I don't care what people think anymore. I'm just done with it. I released it. And it's liberating when you release things, especially what people think of you. Even if you were a horrible person and did all kinds of horrible things, but then you changed. But everybody is sitting there holding on to bad things that you did. We're not perfect. We're all learning. So that self-forgiveness and that self-compassion for yourself, you know, once you forgive yourself, you can make amends for your past, but people can still hold on to that and hold it against you and still judge you. Those aren't your people. And sometimes that's really sad because it's someone you love. However, it's really about not comparing yourself to other people and releasing what's not serving your higher purpose. I'm gonna just look at the comments real fast. Yeah. So, next thing, in the media, we have portrayals of, say, black women are this, or white women are that, or black men are that, or whatever. So we're programmed. We're programmed to believe in real life that that's how they all are. They, okay? The reality is that you could meet a black man who grew up in the UK, speaks like, has an English accent, and's never even been, like in the rap scene or whatever. So you have these stereotypes that you think that people should fit in, and you can be surprised. I mean, and then you can make some really horrible mistakes, because I'll tell you one of mine. I was working at a job, and at the time I was a Jehovah's Witness. So Jehovah's Witnesses are, and I'm no longer a Jehovah's Witness, but at the time Jehovah's Witnesses are basically anti-gay, right? You can't be gay. There's a stigma with people who are homosexuals, etc. So I was working with a woman who I assumed was a lesbian. And so just how we interacted with each other was, I was very standoffish. I look at myself. I was judging, okay? And so she was just being herself, right? And I remember just one day I said something about her being a lesbian, and she said, "I'm not a lesbian." And so I'm like, oh my God, don't I feel stupid? So the point is, you're going to do things like that, where you're like assuming something, and then you're going to be completely corrected and made like, look, think about what you're saying. Hello. Hello. Sorry. I can't see the little words on the phone, so I have it on my laptop. Croatia. Nice. Welcome. We're talking about personality, breaking free from labels and how other people look at you, and being true to yourself. So really what all of this is bringing us to is the fact that self-love is extremely important, and that is a trigger word for some people, where it's like the actual word is called philautia, and I'm going to tell you, everything is a spectrum, okay? So, and I've said this already, but everything is a spectrum. So on one hand, someone's going to be like, "Oh, I love myself. I'm this, I'm that, I'm beautiful, I'm blah, 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 blah." And then the other person's going to be, "I love myself. I'm calm. I'm not like trying to be like more than I am. I'm just being myself." Appreciating oneself, right? So the spectrum, so you find yourself somewhere on that spectrum. And so one way that I broke free from the matrix, I had raised my children for 25 years, and I got parental burnout, and I decided there was a lot that was going on that year. This was 2015. And I got in my van and drove to Oregon. So I was living in Minnesota, and I drove to Oregon, and then I went down to California, Southern California, to San Diego. And I wanted to face myself, because since I was 15, everyone was telling me about how I look. you're beautiful, you're hot, you're this, you're that. And honestly, I never really cared. I just wanted people to respect me. And like, because I look so young, like when I was raising my kids, like their friends thought I was the babysitter. So like when I'm in a room full of adults, they're not looking at me like I know anything. You know, I'm just a teeny bopper. I've been called that. So I never really looked at myself like I, you know, whatever. I never like looked at myself. So I went on this journey to find myself and accept all of me, because I already accepted my inner self, and I wanted to fully accept all of me for who I am. And that was one way that I broke free from, you know, stigmas and um, just what other people think about me in a general way. So, and actually that journey was packed full of self-compassion. It's when I went on my date with myself. That's when I learned to forgive myself for the things that I had done, and also forgiving everybody who ever harmed me. I came to terms, and that is the grieving process. There's different aspects of grieving. So when you grieve, the final outcome is acceptance. Hakuna Matata. Be respectful, okay? This is a respectful place and a safe place. No, I've not been asked to leave somewhere because I was really drunk. I don't actually like to drink that much. So, anyway, so that took a lot of self-compassion for me to do all of that. Literally, it was 10,000 miles across the country. And just taking myself on a date was, you know, so out of the norm. Like, what? You're taking yourself on a date? Like, I never like announced it or anything. And sure, who cares what people think? Okay? It helped me. It helped me talk to myself better. Like, that's a whole nother topic that we're going to get into in the mental core dimension, because your thoughts, self-criticism can rule your world, okay? Rule and ruin your world if you let it. So I personally was having a lot of negative self-critical talk, and I changed it. And so going on the date was actually part of my healing. And it's incredibly important to like look at yourself, be true to yourself, honor the good, the bad, and the ugly, and find peace within it, and then eventually come to acceptance. This is me. Um, and actually that was getting into neuroplasticity, which we'll get into in the mental core dimension. And honestly, a lot of that was talking about alchemizing, which is kind of magical, but it's like when you have, when your emotions are all stirred up and your thoughts are all scattered, and it's like coming to that acceptance can be a battle. And what you're doing, if you look at what you're thinking and you address the things you're saying to yourself, and then you purposely change the negative thoughts into a positive thought, that's neuroplasticity. That's rewiring your brain. And then when you're feeling your feelings and like feeling your body for where you're having those, because you will feel things in your body when you're having negative thoughts. And so it's that process of identifying, observing, and then eventually alchemizing, releasing it. That is liberation. So that's a lot of information, and today is week 2, day 3, and tomorrow is going to be talking about personal core assignments. So There are actually some assignments in this book, and let's see. Thank you. Love you. And I just want to say that there's so much going on in the world right now, and honestly, I see what's happening, and I'm just like hugging the whole planet, because we need love. The world needs love. And honestly, Love is not my real last name. Actually, I took that name on that spiritual journey that I took across the country. And I think everyone should change their last name to Love. That's just me. So, do you have anything that you want to talk about regarding breaking free personally? Can you find something within yourself in your history that you were like, yeah, I'm not gonna subscribe to that anymore? And how did it help you? Or do you have any questions? So, today I watched a video, and they were talking about conscious intention. So this is a little bit deeper, but kind of on the same topic. So we have subconscious programming, the things that we basically, like an emotional event, a traumatic event occurs, and then we emotionally hold on to that energy within us, which is actually stored in the fascia. And the fascia is the connective tissue between your bones and your muscles. It's like that white stuff when you see the pictures of the inner of the body. So it's literally stored in the body. Emotional trauma is stored in the body. And the way to get liberated from those things is to work through your emotions, to face it. And that is really key to healing your traumas. And that is the basis of even writing this, because I healed myself to a degree that I was like, I'm never gonna need therapy ever again. I had major depression, post-traumatic stress, panic attacks, low self-esteem, self-critical talk. I mean, I was a victim. I was like, oh my God, what's happening? Why is this happening to me? Wah, wah, wah. That was me. And I realized that I needed to do something different. And I was trying. I was doing my best. Like, even though I have a Bible trained conscience, I have a lot of Bible knowledge, and also have a bachelor's degree in psychology. Like, those things and therapy, none of them helped me actually heal. It wasn't until I took matters into my own hands. Actually, I watched The Secret. That was, well, before that, I wrote my autobiography. Okay, I'm very practical. Okay, I'm practical. I had a bunch of shit happen to me in my life. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to write my autobiography so that I can process everything that ever happened to me. It took me 6 months. And it really helped me release a lot. There were still things that I had to learn after that, because I was in an abusive marriage where I was being hit, abused physically. Okay, so that was actually the trigger. And I was like, while I was writing this, I was like deciding, do I stay or do I go? Well, I exited that matrix. Spoiler alert. But so it's really about looking at all the emotions that you're storing in your body, processing all the emotional everything, and then coming to terms with it and accepting it. Yes, these things happened. Guess what? It does not define me. You know, I have been married 3 times and divorced 3 times. Cheater, let's see, a Jehovah Witness who told me to call him Lord. That didn't fly. But that's a whole another story. And then the third one put his hands on me. So I chose poorly. Now, from the world, oh my God, what is wrong with you? You can't keep a man. You know, I mean, whatever. I understand what and why, and it's deeper than that anyway. So all of it helped me go deeper. Because if I was still married to my first husband, I would not be here on Alive with you, I can tell you that. Or my second husband. Because I wasn't seen. Like, and let's see. So when we're, so the personal, the question, or what is it? Hold on. Yeah, writing down positives and negatives about yourself. Okay. Sometimes your negatives can turn into a positive. So, is finding silver linings in all the BS that you go through. Um, so one of the things that I do is I wrote this course because I just have that save the world kind of vibe. I just want to make the world a better place. I'm hugging the planet. I'm like, my mother nature, you know, the mother hen with all her chicks, you know, I just care. And sometimes I have to literally take the weight of the world off my shoulders because it's not my responsibility. I know that. And I'm only one person. It takes everyone. What if everyone healed themselves? Wouldn't we save the world together? Yes. So that's my mindset. Like, I can only do so much. I healed myself. Now I'm sharing the information to help other people do the same thing. And my journey may not look like your journey for healing. Like, you may not need to do the same things that I did because I'm not really spelling out everything in order of what I did. That's a whole nother book if I wanted to write that. I'm sharing all the knowledge that I believe humanity needs in order to have a solid foundation of the human experience so that they can make the best choices for life. Like, I wrote this for my kids and humanity and a friend of mine that has mental health problems. So anyway, so I'm just rambling. I've gone through all my notes, and next week we will be going over the personal core assignments. It's literally a journal entry and then working through part of the personality workbook, and then creating a collage. So I have a really great story about my collage because I watched The Secret. You could watch The Secret too. That's about the law of attraction. They don't tell you everything that's involved in manifesting, but it is a good foundation to understand that, you know, when you want something, you can get it when you actually know how to do it. Or have the gumption, I guess. Because I will tell you, when I was in California, I was sitting at a stoplight. This is when everything was like synchronicity after synchronicity. And I'm sitting at the stoplight. I love the water, I love the beach. And I just, like, I got to the beach. I'm at a red light. across the street, there's a parking lot. There's like 6 parking spots, and they're all full. And the beach is right there. And I sat there at the light, and I was like, watch. The light's going to change. Someone's going to pull out, and I'm going to get a spot. And I held that. I just like held it. And what do you know? Boom, boom, boom. I got a spot. I'm like, why am I even surprised anymore? So on one hand, yes, you can. Things like that can happen. It's happened quite a lot when I'm in alignment. And that's the key. Like, I'm human. We're all human. So this whole enlightenment movement, okay, it's really about being in alignment. So when you're in alignment, it's because you worked through something. That doesn't mean that something isn't, like, something's gonna happen. How are you gonna deal with it when it happens? That's the point. So it's being able to allow things, you know, and as you build upon that, it just grows into a lot more, like setting boundaries and being clearer with your intentions and what you allow, because our frequency, like my frequency, is not, like, sometimes frequencies just don't mesh, okay? Like, people have or are not capable of being in my presence. And I mean, it's not me. I'm not, like, I love all people. I don't care who you are. I'm going to be kind. I'm going to be gentle. I'm going to be loving. Now, that is key. Like, I can't stand the hate in the world. But I am an Aquarius, and I was just thinking about this earlier. I was like, so even though I'm an Aquarius and I am a loving person, if somebody comes at me with some fire, well, I got some air, so I get into the birth chart last week, or one of the earlier videos, but your birth chart, basically, I'm air. I'm air. I'm Aquarius sun, Cancer moon, Cancer rising. So basically, I'm water and air. Okay, so you got your fire. I can either fan the flames and, you know, cause destruction with you, or to help you find that inside you to release it eventually, or I can just put a whole bunch of water on you and put you out. I'm just being funny. Hello? Throw water. Is this a self-defense class? I mean, in one sense, it can be. But I'll give you an example of that whole fire thing. Like, I had a boyfriend that basically, he was just angry. Just like, can you have a conversation and not like, you know? It's like, oh my God, calm down. So whatever, I would engage to, like, okay, let's bring it all out. Come on, let's go. What now? Okay, you got all your anger out now? You done? You good, huh? Well, his energy isn't my responsibility. However, I was in a relationship, so that is something I did. And honestly, like I said earlier in this video, we have fascia in our body, and that is where you're storing the traumas, and it's all like what you're thinking and what your emotions are. It's like, it's this vicious cycle. So how do you navigate? Sometimes those hard things happen that put you on a different plane, okay? Like, I was at a bar one time. Hello. I'm having a good day. I didn't have a car crash. Okay. Teach your goals. they are suffering in their fear inside, and they don't even know it. Like, so what was I gonna say? Oh, I was at a bar. So I'm a raving grandma. I have the light whip, so not the drugs. But I was at a show, and basically my ex was there, and we were all together. It was like a group of us, but we broke up, and I asked him if he had had sexual relations with someone, okay, and he said no. Well, I'm outside with her, and she just happens to mention that they did. Oh boy. So when I forgot the first part of the story. When I first got to the club, I was like, oh, kind of small, like kind of nervous, like, oh my gosh. When I found that shit out, I could not see anybody at all in the whole club. I went straight to the dance floor, and I didn't give a crap. So that experience like helped me recognize how anger can actually be a powerful igniter to do things, right? To release the energy, the negative energy. That's just one tip. Not that it's your job to fix them. Well, when you're in a relationship with someone, yeah, I don't want to fix anybody. I'm so over that. Like, I've educated every single man I've been with, and I'm done. Like, if I have to educate another man, pay me. And I don't want to just pay, I just don't want it to be one man. I want it to be all of them so that I don't have to repeat myself again. So, I appreciate swear words. uh, Water ain't gonna do shit. Okay, so that was a lot of information, and some people have come in after the beginning, so I'm just gonna repeat. This is about this book and this book. This is the Empowered Living Mastery Course, Exiting the Matrix, and the Personality Workbook. These go together. The course is on my website for free. The links are below, and there's actually on my website, ayla-love.com, there's a link to get a free self-love guide. And if you would like to join the inner circle, I'm starting that. That is like for 30 people to get personal support in a small container so that it's not overwhelming and it's very personable. And if you appreciate what I'm doing, because right now I'm on week 2 and this is a lot of information, if you like what I'm doing and you want to support my cause, it would be very appreciated. There are links below for that as well, and if you want one-on-one support, that is also below too. What's the matrix? Well, the matrix, social conditioning. How about programming, television programming? Think about it. Think about all the ads. Okay, if anything, listen, when you see the ads, they're like, hey, take Vibrata. It's gonna cure blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, but you might die. No, they're like, but you might get headaches, you might bleed to death, and you may die. Just in case you want to know. Like, I have to put this in here. Freaking. Wow. I'd rather deal with the one thing I have going on if I have something going on. There's a reason why you have something going on. It's probably because you haven't cleared your chakras. You haven't cleared the negative energy within your body. I'm 54. I'm 54 years old. I'm on 0 medications for anything. I take supplements. I eat healthy. I sleep well. Self-care is so important, and our society does not support you to take care of yourself, like, at all. And that's how I exited that matrix, because I refuse to subscribe. And now we have the Yuka app. If you don't know about that, YUKA, you can scan all your food at the grocery store and it will tell you if there's anything hazardous in it. I have been using it for 3 years. So I stopped eating any food that has hazardous additives and a little bit of sugar. Like, I eat very healthy. What are they playing on American TV? I mean, it's just, it shapes. So I'll give you an example. When I was young, and this is Hollywood, okay? Hollywood television, they make little girls think that they're princesses and they need a man, and for happily ever after. It's just, everything is just so romanticized and sexualized. Okay, that's still prevalent. So that's one way that America's programming people. But the other part is that, like, okay, the educational system in the United States started, I think, in the late 17 or 1800s. I can't remember exactly. But when they instituted that, they instituted it to pretty much teach people enough to be able to push a button. Okay? They want workers. Who's going to do all this stuff? They need everybody to do that, to stay in the lower classes. So the public educational system is doing that. It's horrifying. So that's one part. Thank you. What degree do you have? I have a bachelor's degree in psychology. And having a bachelor's degree in psychology did not even help me heal my traumas. Everything that, I will say a lot. Like, they didn't even teach me about neuroplasticity in college, where you're learning about the brain. And the brain literally is malleable. You can rewire it, if you know how. And that's what I'm teaching. I'm teaching you in this whole course how to rewire your brain and heal. What do you mean, what stuff? Neuropsychology. So if you look at the therapy industry, if you look at the self-help industry, if you look at the medical industry, if you look at all these industries that are supposed to be helping people, tell me, do you think it's working? The amount of money that people are putting into that system is only getting higher. And we are having more problems. So I don't believe in that system. I believe in what is real. And majority of, like, okay, a doctor, he needs you to be sick to get paid. A therapist, they need you to come back to keep getting paid. Right? Ding dong. So basically, yeah, it's not, to me, it's not working at all. Um, I graduated in 2010 with a psychology degree. I learned about neuroplasticity. Actually, I started doing it without even knowing what it was in 2015. And then I learned about it after I watched The Secret. So it was probably in 2016, 17. I mean, so in the comments, they're talking about vehicles, which has nothing to do with anything that I'm talking about. If you would like to engage in a respectful manner, that would be appreciated. Otherwise, this transmission is coming to an end. I am here to transmit love, positive energy, hope, and connection. Like, no matter what religion you are, no matter what your skin color is, no matter what political views you have, no matter what your sexual orientation is, we are all amazing and we all have a purpose. So, thank you for being here today. And he talks a lot about the medical industry and he quit because of that. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. Frontline doctors. Frontline doctors, I think that website is called. Yeah, there's a bunch of crap going on. So I exited the matrix. I'm I'm not even gonna get sick. That's how determined I am. Because if you take care of your body, take care of your health, your mental, your emotional, your physical, I have, okay. Thank you for showing up and engaging, and I will be back tomorrow at 7 o'clock p.m. Again, there are links below to join the course. Go to my website, offer to help me financially so I can continue to do this, and join the inner circle, get one-on-one support. I'm building something, and I'm just very happy that you're here, and I hope that this information resonates with you. So, much love. Have a good night.